Welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic. Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Legacy, and I have before me a deck that is directly and indirectly tied to this channel quite heavily. This is Joel's OmniShow and Imitate. Joel is a longtime Patreon subscriber, and he and I have worked on various versions of this deck together in one-on-one sessions many times over the last year. Last time you all saw it, it was an OmniShow and Reanimator deck, but there's sort of become a critical mass of 3-mana ways to win the game without using the graveyard. So let's check this out. Show and tell, obviously, kind of the namesake of the deck. Put a big thing into play, then you win, you hope. The big things are 2 Archons, 2 Grizzles, 3 Omnis, 1 Blightsteel Colossus, buckle up, and 2 Emrakul the Aeon's Torn. That's the top end. Then we got Vesuvan Drifter as a 3-of. Beginning a combat on your turn, you may reveal the top card of your library. If it's a creature card, Drifter becomes a copy of that card, except it has flying. That's where you get Blightsteel Colossus, the Golden Gun, as we call it, just you're dead. Emrakul the Aeon's Torn, annihilate you, you're dead. Grizzlebrand can draw cards, Archon can get an attack trigger in and do some damage that way. And then we got Palantir of Orthanc, a card that I have enjoyed in the various decks I've played it in. I think this is the 4th or 5th time it's appeared on the channel, and it's been a stone banger in every single version of those. I recently trophied with Band Control featuring this card. And while this doesn't directly tie into wins the way Show and Tell and Vesuvan Drifter does, and what are you going to do? Like, at the end of your turn, you scry 2, and then your opponent can have you draw a card. If they don't, you mill X, where X is the number of influence counters on Palantir of Orthanc, and then that player loses life equal to the total mana value of those cards. This very quickly puts your opponent in the spot of, do you let the AB combo deck draw an extra card every turn, or do you possibly take 15, or if you mill 2, take 27? The mana value of this deck is insane. I think Joe said the total mana value is over 200, and he sends me screenshots and videos all the time of people just dying from 19 to a Palantir for 2. Stealing games left and right. This is a really damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. And this is honestly probably the most brutal use of Palantir that I've seen. And it's a 3-of in the deck. So it's not just like a cute 1-of that we put in our control deck. This is for real, the plan. That makes a total of 10 3-drops that can win the game very quickly if they're not answered, and they're all different kinds of 3-drops. We've got a creature with a big butt, a sorcery spell that could be a variety of things, you don't know what it is till it resolves, and Palantir, which is an artifact that just sort of sits in play, and you need a specific type of removal for that. The deck is built on the back of Brainstorm, Ponder, Lorien Revealed. Lorien Revealed is a land when you need it. You could also fire it through Omniscience for Ancestral Recall, and sometimes if it gets grindy, you just draw 3. Force of Will and Thoughtseize backing up the combo. There was a main deck Boseiju. Looks like it's on the sideboard now. Cool. There's a Boseiju in the sideboard to further shove Show and Tell through. And this deck uses Limdual's Vault extremely well. Kind of a weird card, kind of like the 9th tutor you'd want to play in a lot of blue-black decks. Sometimes Doomsday has one of these, but I think even they've moved past this. Largely a forgotten staple that exists in Legacy from yesteryear, and this deck is really good at using it because you can leverage the top of your deck with Vesuvan Drifter and Palantir. You could, from a high enough life total, just kind of spin till you hit and then put a Brainstorm on top of your deck with Show and Tell monster under it and just do it all at once. If you untap with Vesuvan Drifter, you can Limdual's Vault for whatever monster you want to use to kill your opponent in that moment. Just very cool use of this card here. And then there's a Sheoldred just sort of chilling in the middle to break it all up. Bridge the low end to the top end. This is a labor of love, and it's putting up results for Joe. He just recently swept his local Legacy Night at his LGS. You also see him basically every week in the MTGO trophy dumps with some version of this blue-black show and tell strategy. And this is the current build. He's got a bunch of trophies with it, and I'm going to try to do it justice here today. Let's go. I'm on the play in round 1 with a nice hand, Island Ponder, Lauren Revealed, Ponder Keep. I do have the unfortunate question to answer of, do I want to Ponder or Thoughtseize on turn 1? Thoughtseize is generally well suited for a combo turn where you do it all at once. My opponent's on 6 though. I kind of want to take a poke over there. What are you up to? Oh yeah, glad I looked. This might not even be good enough. There is a problem with this deck, that it does have some cool monsters for Reanimator to steal from you. I'm glad I did that, but I'm going to end up with Grizzlebrand in my graveyard here. And that is part of the monster suite. Like, Joe has thought of everything. Of the 6 monsters in the deck, 3 of them shuffle into your graveyard when they hit it. This is not by accident. This is by design, that only half of your stuff can actually be Thoughtseize Reanimated. Bad news, though. I'm getting unmasked. They pitched their Entomb, so they could just, like, have this. Okay. They went for the Lorien Revealed. I think that's good news. That means they didn't rip or reanimate. Or they're just gonna grief and take it anyway. Oh, Rit Grief. Cool. Alright, opponent's Hellbent. Do they want to float the Grizzlebrand in there in case they spike? Oh no, they really are. I guess if they think I might be a Reanimator deck, they can't just put my Grizzlebrand in there in the face of Ponder. So, saved by my deck being weird. Brewer's Advantage. Land. I don't hate this, actually. I'm just going to put 2 lands in my hand, and next turn I'll cast Vesuvan Drifter, and then we ball. It's just a card drawing contest from there. Can I endure grief hits until this thing hits a monster that wins the game? And I am going to take my shuffle. I have 3 lands covered. I probably could have saved a life there by just taking the Underground Sea. Didn't need to shuffle this twice. But if I draw a mana source here, then having a shuffle is nice. Oh, okay. Hey, it's the combo we built the deck around. Okay, pew pew pew. Island on top. Please don't take my Limdual's Vault. If you don't, you're dead. Scrubland was their play. Grief has Menace. The Vesuvan Drifter copy gets flying, so there's no reason to leave this back. Okay. I have 10 life to work with here, and 47 cards in my deck. Let's find a good one. I really want it to be Blightsteel. Okay, I would like to pay life. This is not a helpful file. No monsters here. I'd like to pay the life. Emrakul. Doesn't kill them, but does well enough, I think. Yeah, Emrakul this turn, Archon of Cruelty next. I will keep this pile. I really wanted the Blightsteel Colossus, but I'm not gonna argue with a big hit here. Annihilating them down to nothing is pretty close to good enough here. Cool. Yeah, Reanimator is a deck that can do scary things on 1 mana, but not with 1 card in hand too. Nice. Glad I led on the Thoughtseize. How about that, folks? Against Reanimator, we have Flusterstorms, Surgical Extractions, Drown in the Lock. Kind of slow, but we're going to have to survive the first wave anyway. I'm not trying to Pithing Needle a Grizzlebrand here. I also play that card. Palantir is kind of dangerous because it could fuel their own Reanimate, and it's kind of just a slow, clunky doofus of a card for a matchup like this. Cards have their strengths and weaknesses, that's okay. Borrower and Bowmaster if I want to just settle into kind of Dimir tempo. I don't think I want to do that though. I'm trying to jam. There's only 3 real punishes for a Reanimate, like discard Reanimate hand. Omniscience is really important versus Reanimator, because if you ever show and tell, good chance they have a messed up creature. Lotus Petal lets me go fast. I think Vault is a little slow. Shieldred is kind of not the lane we want to be in. We're going to be in the moon or we're going to be in the ground. I'm not trying to walk around on Earth with a Shieldred. Kind of looking at Lotus Petal, but going fast is important, but they're also a deck full of discards, so having a density of good cards is important. Lorien Revealed are kind of lands. Seagate Restoration are lands. So it says 15 lands, but there's actually like 19 here. I can afford to cut a Lotus Petal, I think. It's just about speed, and I think that's a on the play situation, because on the draw I'm going to get pummeled by discard anyway. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. Oh, did I say 3? There's actually 4 big hits. Oh, and there's one in my hand. Great. Luckily, I can surgical my own graveyard if I need to. I'm keeping this hand. Got a Marsh Flats. They've got an Unmask targeting me, pitching Animate Dead. Look, my surgical. Okay. Am I dead? Entomb. Yep, getting that under the Flusterstorm. Smart. Grizzlebrand in the graveyard. Okay. Currently, no additional mana. Okay. I can ponder and hit another surgical here. One of the most recent innovations is surgical over Leyline of the Void. And this is a situation where Leyline would have come and gone already. I mean, maybe it's in play, but there's certainly no option to ponder into it on 1 mana. This Thoughtseize is really interesting. I'm actually in for Thoughtseize. Let's see if we can knock part 2 of their plan out of their hand, take a Reanimate. So they have 1 card in their hand. They would have to draw exactly Reanimate or Mana Source plus different reanimation spell over multiple turns. Seems the Flusterstorm actually would have got them there too, but the Thoughtseize, I like knowing what I'm up against. That play made possible by Lotus Petal. Though I would have just passed with Flusterstorm up and been pretty okay anyway. There was a long pause, then they just passed the turn. I have no idea if that pause was actually anything or just they walked away for a second. Or if they're in the tank about a Thoughtseize. Okay, Entombing in response, sure. I don't care about that. There are already monsters in the graveyard. I think I will accept this offer of Force of Will. Now I have 2 layers of protection. I gotta figure out what my actual plan is, because those 2 monsters on top of the deck are not it. But 2 layers of protection against a top decking combo opponent feels pretty good. I do have land number 3 available in Seagate Resto. Well, I'm going to play the Underground Sea, save the Restoration. I could put Omniscience into play at some point. It's also a blue card for Force. They're just draw going. I will keep making land drops. Lorien Revealed's in here somewhere. The deck also plays enough mana to start casting its monsters, which is just awesome. B-Storm. Okay. I don't think I want to Brainstorm yet. Maybe I do. My whole hand is good right now. My next land I draw, I can Brainstorm meaningfully. Just having 2 pieces of interaction against this deck that's not really doing anything is great. Ponder, cool. Ponder found Lorien Revealed Omniscience. I will accept this Omniscience. And I think I'm actually going to pass here. I can shuffle in the upkeep or end step just whenever I want, and then not draw those other cards. And now I'm just storming into any of my 3s that win the game. There's an island. Brainstorm, let's go. Yikes, okay. Another Brainstorm, but seems we're pumping the brakes a little. That's a lot of mana. Still chilling. Those 2 lands on top of my deck, plus the 5 in play, cast Seagate Resto. I've got a plan here. Might not be a great one, but it is a plan. I am going to Brainstorm before my land drop. I would rather shuffle these away if the option's there. Okay. I'm going to hide Archon and hide Blightsteel, because they're not going to come up for a minute. I can hard cast Force and Flusterstorm, and then next turn I can Resto. Maybe I should have held back the Lotus Petal to draw more cards with it. Opponent's up to 5 though. They're starting to make it happen over there. Reanimate target Atraxa. Oh, now I'm glad I sandbagged or played out the Lotus Petal. Okay. Seagate draws me 5. These are all my blue sources, though, I think. Yeah, so, or there's an Otawara and 1 Lotus Petal left. Or no, they're the only 2 petals in. I'm 2 away from Omni. Basically, I draw fewer cards if I play the Swamp, but I get to hold up blue or black, which I think is pretty important, actually. Alright, I'm going to do that. Seagate. And there's a bunch of stuff that can win the game next turn. Okay, Bess. Oh, I had 8. I could have cast Archon if I stacked that different, but having them discard, we know they're holding an Archon of their own. That's not even necessarily helpful. I'm willing to believe the last 2 or 3 turns could have been sequenced better for me. Yeah, certainly holding that Lotus Petal, I get to draw an extra card, and then Petal is my mana of any color that I need. There's a Dark Writ and a Show and Tell that they know I can counter. Why would I counter this? I have Omniscience in my hand. Wow, that's crazy. They're betting that their Show and Tell is better than mine. Resolves. Oh, I guess I can't pay for it anyway. Yeah, Omni. Put it in. You've got a Grizzlebrand. I've got an Omniscience. Let's party. Grizzle. I don't have Bowmasters in my deck right now, so Grizzlebrand's going to happen. Lotus Petal is a wash with Flusterstorm. They're down to 5 over there. Briefing me. I'm going to brainstorm in response. I found a Force of Will and a Drown in the Lock. Easy money. I'm going to put Archon and Emrakul on top. I would like those just hidden safely right where they are. I'm going to counter this with Drown. They have way more than 4 things in their graveyard, and they have 12 cards in hand, but I can counter 3 discard spells this turn. Unmasked targeting me. Storm is 7. You know about this Flusterstorm. I don't even know if this matters, but I'm certainly having fun. Like, as long as I get a turn, if they don't time walk me somehow, or they would have to have, like, Wear Tear to take out the Omni. That's how they get this. Thoughtseize. I'm gonna Force of Will that. Okay. There's a bunch of stuff. Question mark. Alright, Faithless Looting. Oh shit. If they take my Blightsteel, that actually shuffles my deck and I'm fucked. Oh no, I blew it. That actually matters a lot. Oh no. Yeah, that's actually really bad. How do I play around that? I have to put Blightsteel and Emrakul on top of the deck instead of the Archon. Yeah. I actually did mess that up. I could have stacked that better, and now we have a top deck emergency. Ruh-roh. Okay, now they know that the coast is clear to do whatever they're going to do. Another Show and Tell. Well, I'll put in my Drifter, and then we'll see my top card and know if it's good or not. Thoughtseize ain't it? Alright. Yeah, I blew that one. If I just stack my Brainstorm with the 2 shuffles, I forgot that they both do that. That's why I hit the Emrakul, and then, duh. Alright. Okay. Fools get punished sometimes. I'm on the play. Speed. That was just one of those things that happens one time when you play a deck, and you're like, oh yeah, that's how that works. Sure. I kind of think I want to shave an Archon, or is it Grizzlebrand? Which one am I actually worried about playing against more? If I'm building for speed, this barely even makes sense. Because Grizzlebrand is the thing that goes super fast. I think it's okay, though. I'm going to live without that. This is a 1-lander with Flusterstorm and Surgical in it. This is likely to get me another turn. Okay, I'm going to keep this. It's risky, but they don't mess with your mana. I can cast Ponder. It has multiple disruptive elements. It does have a stupid Archon in it. I boarded out a Grizzlebrand, and I'm still rewarded with an Archon in my hand. I would like my opponent to just mulligan to hell and be unable to beat my wall of interaction. Give me tons of time to figure it out. I love when an opponent's on the same plan as me. They're on 3 cards. Seagate Reborn. I would like to pay 3 life. And here we go. Got a Marsh Flats go. Come on, land. We're in revealed. Easy game. Alright. Island cycle this for an underground sea. And then I'm going to take a little look at this 3-card hand. Hope I'm not enabling a monster here. Archon Wear Tear. Alright, so your hand is Archon. I can't really show and tell right now. There's the Catacombs. Alright, well, now I have to work through this Archon. Maybe I'm supposed to take that. I have the Surgical anyway. But if I find Omniscience, I don't care about that thing. Hey, I found Omniscience. I don't care about that thing. Cool. Petal, Omni, land. Don't shuffle. Next turn, I show and tell in Omniscience. They show and tell Archon. I have to discard a card, and then I destroy them. Okay, here we go. Put in Omni. Hope you didn't find Grizzlebrand. Alright, you have an Archon. I'm going to discard my backup show and tell. I'm going to punk your Archon. This draws Lotus Petal that I have no reason to deploy. Okay, and I still have Surgical that can clear this Archon if they have a reanimation spell follow-up, which they do. Exile your Archons. Oh, the last card in their hand is also Archon. We got the clean sweep. Cool. All right. Definitely some weird stuff happened game 2. I imagine I could have won that game. There was some mid-game stuff that I probably could have optimized better, and then just forgetting that Blightsteel is also a shuffle effect. Messed up my Omni win, but we did it. On to the next one.
You come here to level up at Magic. To level up as a software engineer, check out the new YouTube series Dev Better, hosted by the founder of 7-Factor Software and Magic player, Jeremy Duvall. 7-Factor's small teams of high-performing engineers build custom mobile apps, APIs, and highly scalable systems for Fortune 500 companies and ambitious startups with great ideas. If you'd like to hire 7-Factor, or maybe join their team, contact them through their website at 7factor.io. And don't forget to subscribe to 7-Factor's YouTube for every episode of Dev Better.
I'm on the play in round 2. I like this hand. I'm going to keep it. I've got 3 lands and 2 ways to shove that win the game, maybe. Card selection, card action. I can even do the end step brainstorm, upkeep, cycle Lauren reveal trick if I'm so inclined. Gives you a nice full value brainstorm on 1 mana instead of needing a fetch land to do it. Ancient Tomb, okay. Spooky. I am not going to do the brainstorm trick. I don't think I have a need to. All right, now I'm interested in brainstorming because the second Palantir sucks. That is a legendary permanent. And I'm going to brainstorm now because my deck does have Ponder and Thoughtseize in it. There's Ponder. Orthanc. Ancient Tomb strategy. It's weird. I don't really need this Lotus Petal. I have Lauren revealed that can find what I need it to. I think I'm just going to pass here. What do I get punished by opposition agent specifically? Alright, I am going to fetch now, just in case. I'm going to get a basic swamp. Also, just ready in case they Blood Moon me here. I don't know what's about to happen, but let's not do that. Cycling Lorien revealed off of Ancient Tomb. What a world we live in. Found an island. Casting B-Storm. Show and Tell seems suspicious here. Like, this could very well be its own Show and Tell deck. In fact, I think there's a good chance that it is. All of these cards are in my deck. Cycling another Lorien revealed with the last mana. They used all of their mana this turn. Good eats. I'm no longer particularly concerned about Wasteland. I'm just going to get an Underground Sea. If I draw Omni, I'll shove. If I don't draw Omni, I'm not just going to put Emrakul into play. I'm going to put Palantir into play. Just get this engine cranking. See if they want to take 18 in one shot. It's hard to do off one card. In fact, impossible. Force of Will, Limdwell's Vault. I kind of want Force of Will, which is awkward. So I'm going to top. I think it's very likely that they mill the 1 card. It's when it becomes 2 and beyond that it gets scary. Yeah, Limdwell's Vault gone. Force of Will on top of my deck. Might be too late. But if they show and tell and it's not an Omni, I'm in good shape. Also possible still that they're not a show and tell deck. Alright, impossible, in fact. Alright, here's Emrakul. You have Dream Halls. Okay. What are we doing here? Seagate, Restoration. This is that goofy Mind's Desire deck that I played a couple weeks ago on the channel. This deck sucks, but they are up and running here. They better run pretty far, though, because Emrakul's in play. The old show and tell resolves. Draw 7 cards. Or concede. GG. Cool. Okay. Some sort of show and tell, Mind's Desire, Poop Suit Mirror. Kind of feel like I want to get scrappy against this deck. The Bowmasters and the Flusterstorm look good to me. Drown in the Lock is a maybe. Because they could very well just shove show and tell without putting a single card in their graveyard. Just Ancient Tomb, Island, bang. Now I wonder, in an OmniShow mirror, when, if ever, is there an argument to cut your show and tells or shave on show and tells? A Vault is whatever. Lotus Petal, this isn't really about speed, it's about stability. I do kind of like Shoulder It in the middle. I like that Grizzlebrand can draw me into counter spells if we do end up in like a they show and tell, they put an Omni, I put in Grizzle situation. And maybe it's Bowmaster's Flusterstorm. I'm going to shave Blightsteel. That seems like the lowest impact of all the things somehow. Maybe I shave a Palantir for a Drown as well. I don't hate Palantir. I like that it's a win condition that does not put Omniscience into play for my opponent, but it's also really slow. Okay, love this for the matchup. Turn 2 Drifter with double force. Let's go. Ancient Tomb, Lotus Petal. If you like show and tell, then I don't like show and tell. I'm gonna force pitching show and tell. Okay, that happened. We did it. Limb Duel's Vault. Okay. If I draw a blue or black source at any point in the next 2 turns, I win on the spot. Another Force of Will. All right, so now I still have Force Blue card with Drifter. I can take my sweet time drifting if I don't find the blue or black source. Ponder on top. It's not a blue or black source. It does give me a bunch of looks, though. Okay, opponent's still just chilling over there. Their turn 1 shot through the cannon didn't work. Emrakul on top. Easy. That's not Emrakul on top. Ponder can look at the most cards. Brainstorm guarantees the action next turn, but so does Ponder. Yeah, I'm going to Ponder, actually. I can still Brainstorm after I Ponder, if I'm so inclined. Force of Negation pitching Atraxa. Sure, fine. That just turned that Ponder into him to Turok. And I have the win next turn with this Underground Sea that casts Limb Duel's Vault. We don't need to get aggressive about resolving Ponder here. And they still are not doing anything. Drifter on top. How about Limb Duel's Vault? They force pitching Dream Halls. I'm going to force pitching Force. I think I'd rather Brainstorm in my hand than Force. And, like, this is it. This one's worth fighting over. Cool, yep. They believe that somewhere in my deck is a card that kills them. GG's. On to round 3. Still undefeated. This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks. And groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there. On the play in round 3, and I'm going to keep this hand. I got this little turn 1 Thoughtseize poke that I like to take, and if I see Wasteland in their hand, Lotus Petal can dig with Ponder for another land. Wasteland is the biggest concern in my hand, with my hand right now, but even that's not even GG, so let's run it. And if there just happens to be a land on top of my deck, I have turn 2 Drifter and turn 3 Limb Duel's Vault, or bang. Let's see those thoughts. All 7 of them. Oh, we've got an Epic Storm deck over here. How can I trash them the most here? Brainstorm would have to be cast off Lotus Petal. That's already a tough sell. What's their line to Echo here? It's they do have a turn 1 Echo if I leave them with Brainstorm. And I have to, or if they have anything they can pitch to Chrome Mox, then the Lion's Eye Diamond turns on Echo. I probably want to take the Burning Wish here. This Brainstorm is already miserable to cast. Chrome Mox would have to exile Brainstorm. That's the only legal card here. It can't exile artifacts even if they have color. Yeah, I think I'm interested in Burning Wish, leaving the game here. And run out this Lotus Petal. I'm not going to ponder. Let's hang out. Sucks they had 2 tutors, though. That is, I do normally like taking the tutor from hands, and they just have multiple of them. Taiga. Petal. Chrome Mox. Brainstorm was pitched to that. They'd have to use their Petal to play Wishclaw. Okay. LED. They could still Echo here. Oh no, they can Mind's Desire. They drew a second LED. Jeez. Alright, I'm fucked. Well, they get to Mind's Desire for 6 because they drew exactly Lion's Eye Diamond. Even Dark Ritual doesn't get them there. Alright. Can we whiff? Veil. Badlands. Casting Veil in response for reasons. Underground Sea. Lotus Petal. Rite of Flame, fingers crossed. Echo of... No, they hit on the last one. Alright. Well, and now spells are uncounterable. So we're just spinning and spinning and having a bad time. Opponent's having a good time. They're ripping like a boss. And I'm just hanging out over here. Rite of Flame, Lotus Petal, Storm's Infinite. Dark Ritual. Burning Wish for Tendrils. Yeah, okay. Well, they ripped Lion's Eye Diamond off the top to make that happen, and then bricked 4 out of 5 desires, and then hit on the last one. Brutal. Okay. Nullrod, Flusterstorm, Drown in the Lock. Bowmaster actually not even that good, because they're a dedicated Veil of Summer deck. They just play 4 in the main. Okay, I'm trying to go as fast as possible here. That means Palantir is not in the deck, and gotta make one more cut. I don't think I want to bring in Needles for Wishclaw Talisman specifically. It might be Lorien revealed. I just want everything that's a high impact spell, and Limdual's Vault counts alongside Drifter to get the game won. Okay, let's do it. That was a crazy one. Turn 1 through a Thoughtseize. Okay, Thoughtseize and Flusterstorm. I'm going to keep. And although the Thoughtseize was not enough last game, I'm still going to do it. And I'm going to do it now before Veil of Summer's online. Okay, let's take a look. Veil, Brainstorm, LED. I think it's Brainstorm. Yeah, let's just make your hand weird. And there's no cantrip, no tutor over there. They kept on the strength of this Veil of Summer, which is currently holding down the Flusterstorm. Not irrelevant. Limdual's Vault, okay. I'm not quite ready for that. I'm going to Brainstorm now. Drifter, Omni, Seagate. Okay, so having Drifter and Omni means that if I find Show and Tell, we're cooking. I think I'm actually going to just get rid of the Flusterstorm because they've shown me Veil of Summer anyway. Does that make sense? Or is that like such a good thing? No, if I'm going to Ponder, I don't need Fluster. Okay, I am kind of just betting that my cards are better than yours here. And Seagate is really good with the Omni. Oh, Seagate can be land number 3 if I need it to be. Or it can be an Omni hit. So I could put back Island here. And then just fetch and Ponder. I'm going to try that. Ponder. Force of Will on top of my deck with Vesuvan Drifter under it. All right. I will keep this. I know they have the Veil, but if they do something reckless here, I'm ready. And I am going to put them to 1 turn, you're dead. There's the sea. 2 mystery cards over there. Rite of Flame. Okay, the Galvanic Relay for 2. What's going on here? Or I guess it would be for 3 off the LED. Okay, sure. Exiled Echo of Eons, Mind's Desire, and I could just force this. They can't pay for it right now. Echo plus Desire in Exile don't do anything. Yeah, I'm going to force pitching Omni on just 1 copy of Galvanic Relay. My path to victory is already laid out in front of me, and I'm just going to let them exile 2 6-drops and live their life. Vesuvan Drifter get in, doing it pre-combat just in case there's a Grizzlebrand there, and I want to gas up. There's a Drifter there. Okay. Okay, you're dead on board. You don't know it yet, though there is a Mind's Desire in exile and a Lion's Eye Diamond in play. This does Desire for 1. That's Desire for 2. They could even Veil Desire for 3. Okay, pretty good. We're trying to fade 3 hits off Mind's Desire here. There's a lot of mana in this deck. I guess they could Echo and leave the Desire around for later. Yeah, that's probably actually way better. There's that Null Rod. Oh, wow. Oh, nope, LED. Okay. 3 LEDs. All right, opponent's very good at drawing LED, and that does Desire for 7 now, which we're unlikely to beat. The Insulting Null Rod right on top of the deck. Desire for... Oh, they're re-echoing. That makes more sense, because you could still Desire after you echo. Yeah, this is just Free Storm. I'm thinking too small. Desire for 11. Unlikely to miss on this one. Burning Wish. We're already dead. Another Veil of Summer. Wish Claw. Right. Badlands. Another Echo. Alright, cool. We're dead. Yeah, that force your Galvanic Relay. That was my last window to force anything with the Veil in hand, and the Veil ended up just kind of building Storm on the next turn, where it would have been a blowout. So, I mean, that was just a tough spot to be in, I guess. Maybe my Thoughtseize is supposed to take Veil and turn on counterspells for the rest of the game. In game 1, I'm not going to apologize for it. They just ripped like a boss. This one, you know, once again, I put them in check, and they were able to rip through by wheeling into 3 LEDs. Sure. On to the next one. For the absolute best Magic the Gathering apparel on the market, check out the link in the video description to coalesceapparel.shop, and be sure to use the code BoshNRoll for 10% off when you check out. On the draw for round 4, I'm not going to keep Lotus Petal Lorien Revealed. I don't count that as a land. Mulligan. Okay. This one needs some help. It does have the turn 1 Thoughtseize that I like. Limdol's Vault can find a land. I have Force Blue card. I am going to keep this. Obviously not ideal, but on the draw, deck has a bunch of mana in it. The next mana gets me the following one. This is where we pair into Delver, and they just Daze Wasteland me straight out of here. Missed on the land. Let's see what you got over there. They said they're watching my Displacer Kitten video right now. I hope they're playing that, because that deck was bad. They didn't reveal Yorion, though. That was a Yorion deck. Oh, we're doing this. Force of Will. I have my own force for that. Not cycling the Lorien in response was really interesting. I think I want to take Jace Wielder, though. Yeah, I'm just going to do that. That's the real card in this hand. Taking the Lorien to try to keep them off land number 3 is certainly a thing you can do against High Tide. But also, your deck has so many islands in it that if they just draw one over the next 3 turns, I didn't do anything. Okay, speaking of not doing anything. Hard mode activated. Looking for an Ancient Tomb. There goes Lorien. The 2 snaps are pretty bad against my deck. Though if they start snapping their own Clouds of Fairies, I could be in some trouble. Hey deck, how about a land? All you gotta do is ask. Cool, we're in there. And I can Limdol's Vault for a land at the end of my turn. And then they show and tell, and then they force, and then I force back. Oh, I don't have enough blue cards for all that. And then snap is actually good. That'll show me. And maybe I have to start on Palantir. Vault. Ideally, I would find a land and a blue card under it. Okay, so I can Palantir now, and then show and tell, force back up, Archon, Omni the following turn. I am just gonna keep what I've been given here. Force. I'm figuring out where I can put the Force of Will where it's helpful. Because I want the Seagate and the Lorien revealed. Force. Seagate. Lorien. Force. C. Okay. This way, if they choose mill with Palantir, they mill the Force, which I don't need here. And if they choose draw, then I have another Force. Either way, I won't be drawing Force of Will next turn. Unless they fight over this, which is fine. Because then I just show until next turn. Force pitching snap. Okay. They don't want to play against that. That's fine. That's actually even better. Now their Force of Will's gone, and I'm unlikely to die to a combo in their turn. And I stacked Lorien on top. So Archon trigger will draw Lorien. Lorien will draw 3, and then we draw with Seagate after that. Okay, they're doing Mystic Sanctuary stuff. Picking up Lorien revealed. Looks like they're ready to start casting those. That's cool. Yep, Lorien for the tap out, draw 3. I think I'd rather do that than force that. Okay, here we go. Time to try to win the game. Show and tell, put in Omniscience. That just happened instantly. Didn't even think about it. And once the show resolves, I'm going to have multiple forces up as I draw most of my deck here. Sapphire Medallion, good for you. That's a sweet card. For those who don't have the budget for Candelabras. You don't actually need either, but sweet one, all the same. This Archon draws Lorien. Lorien draws Seagate, and it is unlikely my opponent gets another turn, and if they do, they'll have to deal with multiple forces. Cast with Omniscience. Cast with Omniscience. Emrakul, cast without Omniscience. And you're out of here. We got a sweet deck in the chat. I agree, it is a sweet deck. Joe built a monster here. Flusterstorm, good against High Tide decks. Drown in the Lock looks like it's going to be good here. I don't think we're going to need Null Rod. Bowmaster is going to be a beating against this. That's 5 cards. I don't actually hate Palantir here. The snaps are pretty awkward. Because we saw 2 snaps that game, which makes Vesuvan Drifter pretty bad. But they saw nothing that really gets snapped effectively. I think I'm going to shave on some of the non-show and tell objects here and get low with Bowmasters and Shieldred. And I can always still combo, but just get a little skinnier on that. And this isn't really about speed, so I'm going to shave one of the petals as well. I'm happy with this. One thing I could do additionally is Surgical Extraction. If a High Tide ends up in their graveyard, then we can make sure they get none. I'm obviously keeping this Accelerated Flusterstorm Protected Emrakul Omni Kill. Okay, cool. Our hand is good. Just main phase cycling Lorien revealed, getting that F6 value. Ponder. Do I even cast this? I guess I do. I don't think they can really turn to me. What's up, Thoughtseize? Okay, so next turn I can Thoughtseize them while holding up Flusterstorm, and the turn after that, Emrakul, Omni, and whatever that other monster was, Grizzlebrand. Yeah, this is... I think this is going to be a bloodbath. Thoughtseize you. Tell me about your thoughts. Lorien revealed cycle and response. Cloud of Fairies and 3 6-drops. I'm going to take the Cloud of Fairies. Okay. Good chance we're going to win on our next turn. I guess if they draw exactly Force of Will, they will have 3 mana to pay for Fluster. And I'm not going to not shove here, but they could technically have... They do have one actual really good draw. Show and Tell's on the stack. Omniscience is coming into play. Spellseeker. Oh, baby. What does this do? If it tutors like a wipe away or something, I can cast Emrakul, hold priority, cast Brainstorm. Or wipe away costs 3. They can't get that. I have to assume it's some kind of bounce spell. High Tide, oh. Alright, yeah, you're just dead. Emrakul. Grizzlebrand. Yeah, we got the GGs in the chat. I'm going to start drawing 7. Just to have the time of my life. All right. So there's a cool thing that this deck does that, I mean, the match is over, but Emrakul or Grizzlebrand plus Sheoldred, you can draw your entire deck. And with Omni, you can cast your entire deck because you gain 2 life for every 1 life you draw. So Grizzlebrand actually nets life. And there's this cool thing. I don't know if the timing is set up for it on Magic Online, but it works in paper. If you draw your entire deck, gain your deck's worth of life. In step, you go to cleanup. You end up discarding the other Emrakul, which causes a trigger in cleanup, which resets priority in the end step as your stuff gets shuffled away. Then you draw your whole deck again. This is infinite life, is what I'm saying. You can gain infinite life here. If they weren't already Omega heckin' dead, there is also that loop that exists. That was a pretty clean one, though. On to the final round. The Command Tower software by Eminence Gaming is perfect for hosting TCG events. It features easy-to-create event registration for 1v1 and 4-player Swiss structured tournaments. Event management has never been so simple, and it's web-based, so there's no download required. Get access for just $5 at eminence.event/subscribe. On the play in the last round with 2 lands, Ponder, and a 3-drop to cast, I don't like having 3 monsters in my hand, but I'm not going to hold that against them. I got Brainstorm in the deck. And I'm going to... Do I basic here, or do I Underground Sea and just lean in? I'm actually going to get basic. This hand is already kind of suspicious. Like, there's Brainstorm. Magic's easy. Keep your hands with 3 monsters in it. It'll be fine. Okay, passing the turn. Uh-oh. A swamp. What do we do about a swamp? I'm gonna cast Brainstorm. There's another Seagate, another actual land. I don't want both of these Emrakuls. If I put back... I actually think I just want to fully shuffle this situation. If I put back Emrakul Grizzlebrand, like Grizzlebrand under the Emrakul, next turn I would draw Emrakul, and I can go land, pedal, Drifter, and it turns into Grizzlebrand right away and draws cards. I don't think I actually care about that. Playing this Lotus Petal kind of reveals I'm a combo deck, but it also gets it out of the way of discard spells. I don't have to shuffle right away either. I can decide if I want Grizzlebrand be the top card of my deck next turn. I don't think I do. I think I would rather just take a spin and let the deck produce a monster in a different way and actually draw a real card rather than the redundant Emrakul. That's my real problem. Well, if they're gonna Reanimator, then maybe I need a Grizzlebrand and try to go nuts here. Okay, they're reanimating Archon. If Archon discards Emrakul, that's just going to shuffle anyway. If I discard Seagate... Okay, I'm going to discard Seagate, and I guess I have to try to be a Grizzlebrand for a turn. Hope I stacked this right. I was planning on shuffling it anyway. Oh no, moment of truth. Please be Emrakul, please be Emrakul. Okay, good. We did it. Okay, Drifter, get in. You become Grizzlebrand. And I have to rip in... Oh, wow. All right, well, they're not even letting me do that. Good for you. Okay. Well, snuff out Reanimator, huh? That's what we're doing. Gross. Okay, well, I don't want to draw Grizzlebrand. I'll take my shuffle now. And I guess I'll pass the turn. They attack me, I discard an Emrakul, and then I hope to draw... I don't even know, Brainstorm into Show and Tell Omni, because... Show and Tell doesn't even beat this. Discard Emrakul, shuffles away. I go to 6. Chrome Mox. Okay, we're learning more about their deck. They are not normal Reanimator. This is some sort of mono black stompy Reanimator. Okay, we're dead. But interesting. Snuff out, huh? Well, I don't think I want to give them targets for Snuff out, especially after it was a huge blowout that game. I think all my Drifters are coming out. I still have 7 big hits. I'm going to leave in the Omnis because I can't count on a Show and Tell here. I think Sheoldred is probably too mid. Vault's a lot worse without the Drifters in. I do think speed is important. I like the pedals. Palantir awkward because it could feed the beast. Shaving a lot of actual win conditions here, but this seems like a deck we just need to be alive against more than anything else. And I guess it's the other vault, actually, with these hate cards coming in and Bowmasters in sort of a fair line. Still have enough bangers. Half of them don't get reanimated, which is what I want. I'll keep this hand with Force of Will in it. I do believe there's a strong chance this is an opposition agent strategy. Underground Sea and chip it. I'd be surprised if it's a wasteland strategy. I guess it's possible, but I'm not super worried about that. Thoughtseize, brainstorm in response. Okay. If they take Emrakul, they shuffle my stuff, which I don't really want to happen. If I put back the Emrakul and the Force of Will, then I'm guaranteed Force blue card and some action in the future. Took my Bowmasters. That's fair. Now I get to ponder. I'd love to find Thoughtseize. I want to know what's going on over there. Emrakul, Omni. Those cards are all good together. I think I want the Omni, and then I'm going to shuffle and cast Ponder. Omni's blue for Force, and this gives me like the big banger for show and tell if I come up with that. Ottawa, Thoughtseize, Flusterstorm, and I would like this starting next turn. I don't know if it helps me now. You know, all these cards are good, though. Yeah, I am just going to keep these and try to be a turtle. Try to stay alive with Force of Will this turn, Thoughtseize them next turn. Ottawa can answer something in the future if I'd rather do that than make a land. I could also shuffle that with Lorien if I don't want it. Getting griefed, pitching Dothy Voidwalker. Okay. Alright, well, I don't think Omniscience is the take here anyway, which is the card that I'd want to be protecting. Yeah, they gotta just take Force, and then they do whatever they're gonna do. Animate dead. Annoying, but okay. Now they took the Omni. Okay, I probably don't want Ottawa anymore. Good thing I can shuffle that. Thoughtseize you. Liliana of the Veil. Nice. Congratulations. Your deck is awesome. Yeah, I'm in the market for a Palantir. That would raise grief pretty easily, I think, actually. Chromox. Pitching. What is that? Dark Ritual. Yeah, might as well turn Someday mana into Forever mana, especially against a discard deck. Alright, come on, Palantir. Seagate. Not really what I want. And they've seen the Flusterstorm. I'm on a 8-turn clock here. Surgical. Not really what I want. What does Seagate in play do for me? Very little. Unfortunately, boarded out the Shouldered like a dummy. That would be a great card to come up with at this point. Okay. We are in hard mode, sad mode. Entomb. Okay. Well, I am happy with that, at least. Lines up my Surgical immediately. Archon of Cruelty in the bin. I'd love a Brainstorm. Get things going here. Orcish Bowmaster stabilizes. Archon of Cruelty does not stabilize. I am going to play the Seagate, though. I now have a reason to start making land drops. If all of my draws for this games are land drops, I'll get to Archon before they kill me. I'm at 9. Grief. Evoking Grief. Alright. In response, I'm going to exile this Archon from their graveyard. Paying the gold price. Mana. Archon's out. Let's look at this deck. Trolls, Thoughtseize, Reanimate, Bowmaster, Oppo, Liliana, Dothy Voidwalker. Yeah, we're just Black Stompy with a lightly supported Entomb package. Alright, well, my hand was bad anyway. This is fine. But they strip Archon, so they still have a Reanimate target, and that makes Show and Tell from an insane draw to a terrible one. Alright, Show and Tell's a good draw again. Come on deck. Show and Tell. Ponder. Brainstorm. Oh, Ottawa. I'll take that. Yeah, that's not bad at all, actually. What I don't want to do is bounce Grief and then they just replay it. So I'll probably wait until the end step to send this thing back and make them spend a whole turn figuring it back out again. Okay, get rid of that. Get some breathing room. Bristlebrand, okay. Oh no. Cycling Control in the end step. This will cast Grief next turn. Oh, it's back, and it has more power than it had before. I actually have to rip the out right now. And I have 2 hits if I draw Show and Tell. But Grief has Menace, and I'm about to be at 2. Running out of time here. Come on, Show and Tell, Ponder, Brainstorm, Cantrip. No! Oh no. Yeah, we're just gonna die without ever doing anything. Okay, I'm at 2. And Blightsteel does not work with Omniscience. Yeah, we're just dead. Alright, GG. The sad bleed out. Saw a lot of cards that game, but they were the wrong ones. Okay, a positive record. Lost to 2 other combo decks. We also beat some other combo decks. A lot of combo in the queues right now. I actually like this deck in combo mirrors because you are almost as fast as every deck in the format, if not faster. And you have Thoughtseize and Force of Will and your own combo, and you board in a bunch more disruption. You can also support Null Rod as a combo deck, which is big in combo mirrors. I do like the positioning of this deck right now. It will, of course, have the Show and Tell problem, which is you draw a monster but not a show, or vice versa, which is what just happened. We also dumpstered a bunch of opponents without even playing the game, so that's that price of doing business with that. The Limdol's Vault, I did cut quite a bit. I also cut a bunch of Vesuvan Drifters in that last round, which are, so like 30% of our payoffs just weren't in the deck anymore, which, I mean, maybe we're not alive if we don't replace those with other potent sideboard cards like Surgical and Orcish Bowmaster and Flusterstorm were all drawn that game. Those would have been Limdol's Vaults or Vesuvan Drifters, which probably would have won me that game, but it's really hard to reverse engineer that sort of thinking. Like, it's not really useful. But there's certainly ways you could sideboard differently than I did that may leave you with a higher threat density. I do have a propensity, I know, to settle into the control role if I can. And maybe that's just wrong here. But the point of playing a blue combo deck is that you get Force of Will, and you can play the control role if you need to. Just take a turn off, make sure you can't lose, and then win, rather than just being all in and shoving. I think this deck is super cool. I like this build of it a lot more than I liked the Reanimate build. I like that it doesn't care about the graveyard, but it looks like it does. You get opponents boarding in Surgicals and stuff where you just barely even care about that. You don't care about Leyline of the Void at all. Just all of that is really nice in this deck. And I think this is a well-considered, well-thought-out thing. I think Lotus Petal number 3 could probably be some spell. I don't know if you want Drifter number 4 or like Preordain number 1. Thoughtseize number 3. That's the one card that really stuck out to me. Also, 3 Limdol's Vault is kind of a lot, but it does go off with Drifter, and in an A-B deck, finding B or A as needed is really good. So I'm going to leave Vault alone, but Lotus Petal number 3, I'm kind of interested in Preordain or Thoughtseize in that spot. That's my thought after 5 games. That I'm saying to Joe, who's played hundreds. We'll see how that shakes out. But this was Joe L's OmniShow and Imitate. I did put up a positive record with it, and we just keep on going. Everybody, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out the Patreon, and I'll see you next time.